Welcome to the finale of Let's Play the New Legend of Zelda Mini 1. I am Nitro6003, and today we are gonna take out Ganon and rescue Princess Zelda. So this is a quite long level, so we should be able to get it done in this part. But I would highly recommend you bring potions and all that kind of stuff that you usually bring into level 9. So the biggest problem with level 9, I'm just going to explain it really fast while I wait in the doorway where I'm safe, is the spikes and the statue shooters. The enemies shouldn't be that hard for you. And there's obviously two items you're going to get in this level that's going to help you with the spikes and with the with that kind of stuff. So so now that I've explained all that, we can go on with killing all these guys. Now, of course, having the mirror shield is really, really important as well. Of course, you have to have it to get this far anyway, but and you're also going to need to find keys. There's a lot more keys in this level to find. So, and of course, if you can get a clock in one of these kind of rooms, that would be better for you as well. Now remember, your hammer is only white sword strength, so it's really not going to do a lot for you. And I know that in the original Mini 1, there's a clock. You had the Master Sword going into this level, but you didn't have the Crip Ring, so I guess it's about the same. So there's your first key. And now it's just backtracking back through the level, through the beginning. And it's really interesting because usually in level 9s, you're used to having going up. You're not used to getting a rune to your left right away. So it's an interesting way to look at it. Alright, so now you have two ways to go. Now these gray Pole's Voice are Hammer Pole's Voice. The the dark blue are magic, and these lighter blue are Bomb Pole's Voice. So first we're gonna go to the left, and thankfully we have a clock so we can walk over the spikes. And here you're going to have Dark Nuts and Gibdos. So do not walk over the spikes if you can help it. I believe they do 2 to 4 hearts of damage, but it's a lot. And your mirror shield actually reflects the Dark Nut sword. So you can actually just kind of stand there and let him kill himself. Just a thought. There are no wall masters in this stage, but trust me, the level makes up for it, not having wall masters. There's plenty of other hassles and stuff like that in this level. Here's Bomb Pole's Voice, Gibdos. And like I said, they throw everything at you and the kitchen sink in this level. And just continue on up, and here you're gonna have more of these guys. If you can get lucky and grab a clock, that's probably your best bet. Breaking all their shields is good too. Now you're going to want to get this key in order to proceed. Now, also something else you're going to need to do is you're going to have to find a second key. And the first time I played this level, it took me a long time to find both keys. But you need to go to the right after you go to the left. You can go either way. It doesn't really matter. But you do have to go both ways. And here you have Dark Nuts and all kinds of enemies here. And the Zols. Continuing on to the right. Oh, clock. Nice. Hopefully we'll get some refills too along the way. And there's nothing in this room, just as an FYI. Alright, so here you have more of these guys, and you kind of can get away with not doing very much if you use your magical, you use your mirror shield. You could kind of let them kill themselves. And of course, the last one is the one that drops the clock. And this is where you're going to find your second key. And yes, you do need to find this, or else you're going to find yourself locked out pretty fast. So make sure you find that key. All right, now we're going to go all the way back to that other room with the locked door. And we're going to continue on. And I'll leave him alone. Don't need to worry about him. Alright, so now you see everything has respawned. So you can, if you want, you can kill everything again. But that's entirely up to you. So that's why I said you're going to quickly find yourself locked out, because that's the second key. And I would highly recommend getting this room down to one guy and then moving on. Coming back and killing him is fine, is a good idea. And there's a one-way shutter above us, and we'll be getting that back to that in just a moment. Having bubbles in the room is actually not a bad thing. Now, if one of these guys would drop a clock, that would be fantastic. So, just break the shield. And you know the last one is going to be the one that drops the clock. Or not at all. So continuing on to the right here. And it's pretty linear, this whole thing. But you don't want to go any... Oh, there's a clock. And I will get that, because that is... not only a free pass for the room, but I don't have to sit on the stoop and worry about the conveyor belts. Now, I'm just gonna tell you that there's a fairy in this room if you want it. I'm not going to get it. I'm just gonna skip it, and I'll tell you why, because I'm pretty much at full health now anyway. So kill the magic bunnies. And these are Bomb Pole's voice. You just kind of have to throw everything out the door about Pole's voice that you can in this level, because you're going to see them all. So push the block, and here is item number 1. Now this item is you cannot beat the level without it. So you're gonna want to get it, especially when we get to Ganon. So my advice to you is to make sure you find this. And if you followed this LP so far, you will definitely find it. So moving on now we just have the one-way passage, and now we're just going to go back to that one room, this one right here, and it should have one enemy in it. And there's another fairy, and I'm not going to come back to this room, so I will grab it. And here you have Gibdos, skull shooters, and you do have super bombs if you need them, but I would save them for a little bit later. So now you have these guys, and you can kill them if you want. But we'll be coming back to that in just a moment. So I want to kill this Gleeok while I'm here. And it's pretty easy to kill him, so. And there's a fairy. Now you can walk up through this wall. Only silver arrows can hurt a silver Goma. And we already have that. You have to have it. So there's no way to miss it, because you can't get into level 7 without it. Alright, going back to the right now. And just armies of Gibdos. And you notice how fast my magic is going? Or was going before I got the clock? So you really need to make sure you have the boots, because it doesn't get any easier. Now you're going to walk through this wall here, and you're going to get another clue. Both items in here help you against the spikes. So we already got one of them. So continuing on, And your magic will drain so fast if you are not careful. And now that I know that I'm done with this room, I can kill this guy. And grab the compass and continue on. And here you have the Dongos. And I do have plenty of super bombs. Just waiting for the last one to come down. So I'm not wasting my super bombs. And continuing on to the right. Now you have Dig Dodgers. And your wand is probably your best friend. Getting lots of fairies, which is good. There's a room later that I'm more concerned about. I'm hoping to get a good fairy or a clock in that room, but we'll worry about that later. And here you want to also be careful because there's lots of spikes here. And you're not given a lot of room to maneuver. And that is where you find your map. And you are going to want to find that. It just helps you out. Anyway. So here, you're going to find Pole's Voice. Now, I would highly recommend killing the Pole's Voice first. Because, you want to get the other item of the dungeon. Or else you have to be prepared to use a lot of magic. So those statues are not shooting at you. So make sure you use the arrow to get through. And this is your only warp of the dungeon. And where it leads is not fun. So you might or might not want to use the super bomb. I'm going to. And these guys do respawn. Look at that. Knocked them almost the whole thing out in one shot. And got my clock. So, and now I'm back to full health. And you know what? I'm going to leave that one alive on purpose. Hopefully that will mean maybe both of them will may not respawn on my way back. We'll see. Oh, there's a clock. Good, good, good. Alright, so now we have to find another key. And that's basically what this upper path is going to be. Finding another key. Now, I would highly recommend not using super bombs in rooms like this where there's so many statue shooters. But it's entirely up to you. And there'll be a little bit of backtracking left at the end. Alright, so here we have more of these guys. And these are Hammer Pole's Voice, remember. And luckily they're not very difficult. You just have to have the hammer. Which, of course, you should have. Alright, continuing on to the right. All the dark nuts that you could possibly like. Oh, clock, nice. And you'll notice that I'm missing a couple of rooms, and we'll get to them shortly. Alright, there is your key. Alright, so now we backtrack again. And thankfully, it's not a long trip back, but so you could do one of two things when you could F6, but it's probably faster not to. And here is your key. And here you have more dark nuts. And unfortunately, there's really no easy way to do this. But luckily, they drop lots of refills anyway for you. And, so we're going to continue on to the right. Alright, so now you're in a room full of Gibdos. And I'm going to use my magic wand because it's faster. And I'm not concerned about magic at the moment. More concerned about health. But there's a fairy, and now I'm back to full health. Alright, continuing on to the right. And you guessed it, more dark nuts and more conveyor belts. Now you could, if you want, use your super bombs, but it's really unnecessary. And these guys are not that hard. And more than likely you'll get at least some health from these guys. And I wouldn't waste my super bombs on these guys. I would waste it on guys that are, the elite guys. And here's another Patra. Not the last one, mind you. But if you have the candle, and money is really unnecessary now. And I don't need those bombs, so I'm not going to pick them up. And this is where you find infinite magic. And yes, you have to find this. I mean, you don't have to. You can depend on potions, but considering how fast the boots drain your magic, you will be using probably more than one potion to survive. So now we can make our way to the last bits of level 9 and save Princess Zelda. So now we have to backtrack all the way to that Lammola that I left one of them alive. And hopefully, leaving one alive is not a bad thing. Hopefully they don't both respawn. Excellent. They did not. And I have super bombs. And this is why I have them. And I got it on most of it on one shot. The important things I got on one shot. Because he will respawn if you wait long enough. And you have plenty of magic, so... You have infinite magic, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. But you'll need it for Ganon anyway. Alright, so now you'll notice that we're back here and there's rooms we missed. Well, don't worry, we didn't miss anything. I did it on purpose because I knew we had to come back this way anyway. So here you have... more dark nuts. And if you're lucky, maybe you'll get a clock. Like that. Alright, so down to 2 hearts we are. Now the next room is... ugly-ish. It's not the worst room in the level, but it is a pretty bad room. And I got really lucky there as they kind of killed themselves. So we're almost done now. And here is where you're gonna find your boss key. So now you could do one of two things. You could have 6 back to the beginning if you want. It's faster not to. But you could if you like. There's also no more keys. We have no more keys to find. We just have to get through a couple of more rooms. And I'm thankful that I have plenty of health. And useless money that I kind of don't need anymore. I mean, I'm going to pick it up anyway. Kind of run through whatever enemies I can. Now you can, if you want, you can kill the Pole's voice again. You don't need to. Just now it's a matter of making it back through half the level. Remember this room had all the spikes? Now you don't have to worry about them anymore. You don't have to worry about spikes anymore, but there's a lot of backtracking, unfortunately. But at least some of the enemies won't. Most of the enemies should not respawn. The ones that matter won't respawn. Like the Gleeok won't respawn either. You made it this far, so take my final gift. So now we're going to be at full health. And here is the silver goma he was talking about. And if you just stand just like that. I was able to figure this out before. There we go. So I'm now just outside of his range. He can't hit me. And I can just sit here and nickel him to death. I can wait. So if you can get it pixelated perfectly like this, you can kill him with ease. And there's at least one more Patra to go. And it is Patra Elite. Oh, clock, gimme. Thank you. Now, if I can get 2 more hearts, that'd be kind of nice. 1 more heart would be really nice. Oh, going into the next room with full health is even better. All right, so here's the room I was talking about. This next room is really ugly, really a pain in the neck. Because you have every kind of, not every kind of enemy, but all the elites at least. And there's really no easy way to do this. Unless you're lucky enough to get a clock. Oh, like that. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'll take it. Free pass through this room. I'm going to be at full health going into Ganon. And I'm going to grab my silver arrows rather, and let's see how bad of a fight let's see how good or bad I do against Ganon. Now, if you don't have the boots or if you don't have the infinite magic, you kind of have to stay right in this area. You kind of can't run around. But because I have it, I can kind of run around and chase Ganon. And because of all the fireballs shooting at you, it makes this fight much harder than it needs to be. And probably my only problem with this quest is this one fight with Ganon. But as long as you have the red ring, the mirror shield, and at least a potion or 2. Oh, I think I crypted him somewhere. There he goes. Down he goes. All right, and that should do it. All right. And that is the new Legend of Zelda Mini 1 complete. Enjoy the ending, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you in whatever LP I decide to do next. Thanks for joining me. Please like, subscribe, or comment on the videos below. I'm Nitro6003. Have a great day.